to talk about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2. Let's get into it. Obviously, spoilers for that episode. If you haven't seen it now would be the time to click off. And it is our last topic, and that's usually when people click off anyways, because they don't like me answering fan questions. What's wrong with that, man? Fan questions can be fun. But okay. As always, just kind of a discussion and what's going on. Don't think of a too crazy play-by-play, and we will look at Easter eggs and breakdowns in it. All right. Another really great episode. I still think that maybe they should have done the 2-episode release from the beginning, because this still felt like a setting up episode. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but it felt like it was still getting us into what the main story is going to be, which is obviously Peacemaker living in this other reality and taking over the Peacemaker that he killed. Because it still felt somber. It still felt a little setting up, although there was a lot of fun stuff in there. The big takeaways I want to talk about with this episode is, let me see, what was that? I say I love this actor, and I don't even know his name, man. That's so embarrassing. Where is it? That's how I know. Tim Meadows. Oh my goodness, dude. Tim Meadows is now my favorite character in the Peacemaker Season 2. This guy was absolutely hilarious. SNL alumni. He doesn't show up in all that much, but when he does, man, does he get me laughing. And I'm so glad, because I was watching this with my lady, and as soon as Tim Meadows showed up, I was like, oh, dude, I love this guy, babe. I wish he was in more stuff. And ooh, he did not let me down. He was absolutely funny. James Gunn knows just how to use him. Okay, so he's there. We find out at the opening of this episode that once Rick Flag got Rick Flag Sr., played by Frank Grillo, was given the job at Argus, the first thing he did was like, all right, I want to see the files on my dead son. I wasn't allowed to look at them before because they were confidential, but now that I'm in this higher position, I want those files and I want to find out. And he finds out, and they even play us flashbacks to James Gunn's Suicide Squad that was in the DCEU, but now those parts are now canon to the DCU. Like James Gunn said, that's usually the way it works. And he even reads, someone wrote on the report, Peacemaker, what a joke. Oh, I know those guys' hands was burning when typing that fire report right there. Peacemaker, what a joke. Oh, what a fabulous line. I wonder who told them that to write that in the report. And this has led Rick Flag to then, put surveillance under Peacemaker, and anytime he's going to mess up, he's going to use it just so he can go after him and kill him. I like that setup, and I can't wait to see how that progresses over the season, and if we get that showdown and how that'll be handled, right? Because I feel like they're both now good guys. They're both on the same side. I think Peacemaker does have to kind of repent a little bit for what he did to Rick Flag. And I'm wondering if Rick Flag, the not senior, but actual Rick Flag, is in this other universe alive. Like in the parallel universe he's going in. Unless he's shown up in trailers and I haven't seen it, I'm thinking that's going to be it. 3C. What a joke. Then you're going to take off my red light and wear it in my honor, huh? So that some people were saying because they had bombs on their necks that maybe they was recording everything and that's how they filed the report. I don't know. It could be it. But and yeah, because maybe he's dating Hercar in that parallel universe. That would probably be it. Joe McKinnon. I'm thinking that might be it because it looks like Peacemaker is gonna want to try to rekindle his love with his parallel Harcourt. Joe McKinnon. I can't even spell that. I can't even say real names right now. Whatever. Rick Flag. I'm just typing Rick Flag. That would honestly bring great conflict and whatnot. I just don't know, though, how that comes to closure and what ends up happening. But it'd be great to see him pop back up. Now, as we go through the episode, I want to get back to some of the things that were going on. So the Tim Meadows stuff that was making me laugh so hard was not only the conversation with him. There was some good jokes in here, too. That good James Gunn writing. When, like, Haircut, I can't say her name. Harcourt. When she's in the pharmacy and a woman comes up to her thinking that she's like a domestic abuse victim, and she's like, 1 in 10 women don't report it, and it's not your fault and all that. And then she turns to a guy, calls him Bleeker, that Muppet Beaker, and then she's like, well, you do kind of look like. That was a good little conversation and whatnot. The bird blindness, I how do you come up with that? How is that a thing? How do you write that down? That there's this I'm gonna look it up. I bet a lot of people did. Bird blindness real? There's no way that's a real condition. Is bird blindness an actual condition? It says here, let's see here. Yeah, well, okay, they're just writing the script for the well, it doesn't seem to be a one and well that okay, it says here the first is form agosia, where you're able to see parts of an object, but you can't recognize the object itself. So it looks like that's the closest thing, but that's more object blindness. Like I look at something and I'm like, I'm holding a basketball, guys. I'm definitely holding a basketball. This basketball's tasty. I knew that was going to somehow come into play, and that was just going to end up being something really dumb. The other cool thing, though, that does lead into was the Eagly fight scene. So they go in when Peacemaker and his friends are out, and we have Eagly taking down the squad members. And, bro, you want to talk about deadly creatures. Eagly is not to be reckoned with. Eagly is not to be messed with. That was crazy. They even... The eyeball scene where he like just takes out someone's eyeball, throws it up into the air. Loved it. There's even like just 10 seconds of Eagly aura farming on the screen. I'm not even kidding. It's just Eagly just. And it just went on. I was like, okay, that's enough. Oh, he's still going. Oh, dang. I feel his aura from here. Eagly was crazy. I'm glad he didn't kill Tim Meadows' character. I would have been so mad. And the code names Tim Meadows gave to all one of his teammates is dying, and he named her Titties. And she's on her deathbed. And he's like, don't worry, Titties, I got you. I was laughing. I thought that was so good. That really saved it for me. Because it was kind of a slower, somber episode setting stuff up again. But the Tim Meadows stuff, dude, that was good. That was good. Language. I'm sorry. I am sorry. It was crazy. But that was funny. So again, I'm still liking it. Let's go in to see if there's any crazy Easter eggs, maybe things that I miss. I know there's always a account that does it. Peacemaker. What's this? Trailer reportedly reveals what happened to Amber's. Oh, okay. Peacemaker. Let's see here. Easter eggs. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Peacemaker Easter eggs. Let's go through and see if anything we would have missed. So it says here that confirms that he was always director of Argus during Superman, but not during Creature Commandos. So yeah, during Creature Commandos, he didn't know. It says here for the DCU timeline, this means Superman takes place at least 8 months after Creature Commandos, but potentially 1 to 3 years. Creature Commandos is taking place shortly after Peacemaker season 1. Okay, all right, that's nice. Let's see. We got the Argus file. We've talked about that. We got that fight scene showing off, bringing it into DCU. Oh, I guess the part we really need to talk about. We do have some Maxwell Lord tech with the phones, kind of building up that universe. Oh yeah, they did mention they were trying to move to Gotham, which I'm like, what? Oh, and she, well, look at that. It works at that chain diner. Some more iconography in there. Not really anything crazy. Okay, so the big thing we got to speculate before we move on then is who is going to be the Peacemaker cameo. The Peacemaker cameo, I think, is the thing a lot of people are talking about because we had here James Gunn say, James Gunn says Peacemaker Season 2 will have a big cameo in the final episodes. We have some really big stars from the DC Universe that are going to be near the end of the season. And remember, whenever journalists and critics got to watch Peacemaker, they only saw up to episode 5, I believe. So episodes 6, 7, and 8 were not shown. I think those are the final episodes. And let me see if I can pull up. Someone has brought up like the possibility of who they'll be, and I've got some ideas on who I think it'll be. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Here's the little chart someone pulled up. Okay, so here are some of like the popular picks of who it'll end up being. All right, I don't think you can rule out Superman. I think Superman could definitely appear. If James Gunn was crazy enough to have the Justice League show up at the end of his season 1, all bets are off. I think back in the day, there'd be some unspoken rule where no, you can't have our biggest superhero show up in your little superhero show. No. James Gunn in charge, and with Superman being a James Gunn character now, I think a Superman cameo is very plausible. Blue Beetle also, there was an interview where James Gunn was talking about, he's like, where he was asked, is there any chance Blue Beetle could show up in this? And he's like, I'm not going to say you're not in luck, kind of hinting it's possible. And I'm like, you say Blue Beetle's canon to the DCU, but we have not gotten much Blue Beetleisms or things like that. And I think Blue Beetle and Peacemaker do have a bit of a history in the comics. It'd be nice to throw them in there, especially if they want to set up the whole like Booster Gold, Ted Cord thing. I think it'd be nice. I'm not even going to ponder Lobo. Lobo doesn't make sense to me to show up. Space right now doing stuff out there in Supergirl. I don't think it's Lobo. Lanterns, yes. You got to start getting people hyped and ready for that show a little bit. I think a cameo with a lantern that isn't Guy Gardner is something that could excite people. Right now, James Gunn did the impossible and actually got people interested in the Green Lanterns through Guy Gardner. I take back everything I ever said about Guy Gardner because he's not one of my favorite Lanterns, but people love him. And yeah, he was one of the best parts of Superman. Very enjoyable. Nathan Fillion was awesome. And it's got people wanting to see more Green Lantern. If you start showing like a Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan, really, that could do something. Bloodsport, I think, is a big bet. Bloodsport, yes. Because we're getting so many flashbacks to James Gunn's as a Suicide Squad. We're about to get Joel McKinnon back in there as Rick Flag. And all these other connections. I think Bloodsport could maybe be hired to finish the job that he's probably going to want his revenge on Peacemaker after the end of that movie and what went down. I could see Rick Flag Sr. hiring Bloodsport and then being like, hey, I need you to go after Peacemaker. He killed my son. I need you to get him to me. Lex Luthor, I don't think so. I don't think so. I do think that one is kind of like, that one I think falls to me under just high celebrity status. Nicholas Hoult is a very busy guy. I think you save him for when he's needed, not showing up here. So I think those are the ones. I think it's definitely people within James Gunn's is the Suicide Squad, like some of you guys are mentioning here, like Ratcatcher 2, King Shark. Unfortunately, I don't think it'd be Harley Quinn, although I'd be okay with it. I think those people are definitely on the table and could end up happening. But if I had to pick top 3 guesses, Superman, Bloodsport, and a Green Lantern. Those either Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart. Those are my 3 big guesses right there. I know some people are hoping it's Booster Gold, and they'll finally reveal whether it's like Kumail Nanjiani or whoever it ends up being. There's even some people now that think Kumail Nanjiani is Ted Cord, which I'm like, I wouldn't mind that. Kumail Nan. Although if you're keeping it canon with Blue Beetle in his movie, could this be the dad of the daughter of Ted Cord in that movie? I don't know. I wouldn't mind that though. I wouldn't mind him as Ted Cord or Booster Gold. Kumail Nanjiani has been showing up to a lot of DC events. He was there at the Superman red carpet and after party. I didn't get a chance to say hi to him, but he was there for the Peacemaker season 2 premiere. He's been showing up a lot and hanging out with James Gunn a lot. It feels like he's gonna be something. So yeah, could be it. Doesn't look like a Ted. I mean, yeah, it doesn't even look like a Booster Gold, but it could happen. I could see it happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But so far, still liking Peacemaker season 2, episode 2. That was a very funny episode. Now, I do want to preface this. I heard, because there was critics who have seen episode 3. They said, you're going to want to see episode 3 as soon as you can, because there are going to be big things you don't want to be spoiled. And I guess that makes sense because we're finally going to start exploring this parallel universe, see how that one works. We still don't know if there's other heroes in this universe, if Peacemaker and his brothers are the only heroes. I saw some people floating around that theory, and I'm like, okay, that would make sense, because I'm like, how could they be big heroes if the Justice League is out there or this and that's out there? And maybe Superman, Batman, those people don't exist in this parallel universe. So just saying, watch episode 3 as soon as you can so you don't get big spoilers and whatnot.